Hello everyone, this is Asir Abadallah. In this lesson, we will be discussing requests and suggestions. Now, when asking for help or for someone to do something for you, telling them around is considered rude or impolite. هلا telling someone around معناها تتطلب عليه أو تتأمر عليه. Therefore, requesting things to be done for you should follow a specific manner, which we will learn today. Now, when it comes to suggestions, however, they are defined by proposing an idea or maybe a solution or an answer to a question the other person is asking. So, we will learn how to make both requests and suggestions and how we can reply to them. As we already established, this lesson's objectives will be how to make proper requests and suggestions. We will learn that using models like can, could, or would, will, and so on, and question forms can help us when asking or suggesting things. And finally, we will be able to accept or decline these requests and suggestions in a polite way. So we will also learn how to accept or decline these offers. Now, before we continue with this discussion, I have a short sketch about these topics that I would like us to start with. So let's go watch it.
Dad, I need some money.
How much do you need, son?
Dad, could you give me $60? I want to buy Bob a gift on his birthday.
Yes, with a great pleasure.
Thanks, Dad. Hi, Jack. Do you mind lending me your pink shirt? I need it for Bob's birthday party.
Of course no. You can have it.
Great. Thanks, brother. Hi, Jamal. I wonder if you could lend me your scooter. You know my motorbike broke down, so I need your scooter to go to Bob's party.
No way. Sorry, I can't lend it to you today.
It's a pity. Thanks anyway.
So from the video, you could see a few ways to ask for things. Now, the first request was asking for money. Let's look at these two sentences. We have, give me $60. What do you think of this request? It is rude, of course, and you might immediately say no, even if you have the money, just because the person didn't ask nicely, right? Now, the other sentence, on the other hand, it is, could you please give me $60? This request is more polite and more appropriate, and it might make you, now when someone asks you this, it might make you consider the request actually and thinking about it, or even want to help, even if you don't have that money. So asking in a polite way can actually encourage people to help you, and it can make your request more convincing, even if they can't actually help you, but they will at least try. A side note before we continue, notice how I said try. I pronounced it with an H sound almost. This happens a lot when a word has T and R followed by it. So TR in try, we say it more with an H sound, so try. This is just a tip if you want to sound more native before we continue. Now, another example from the video is when the person asked for the shirt, the pink shirt. So look at the first sentence, lend me your pink shirt. Again, it's quite an aggressive way to ask someone for something. Whereas the sentence, do you mind lending me your pink shirt, sounds more polite again and softer, which increases the chance of you actually getting what you want. Here we can see different ways we can use when making requests. These are all in question forms, And you can also see how we can use different models to convey the requests. Models like can, could, would, should, and so on. The first one we have is can you so and so please? The example we have here is can you help me clean the house please? Notice that the verb comes in the infinitive form in these examples, except for one case, which we will get to in a minute. And of course, don't forget to say please, always. A similar one is could you please so and so? The example we have is could you please pick your brother up from school? Now, it's another way for asking for something. However, using could is considered to be more polite. So if you're talking maybe to someone older or to someone you're not really familiar with and you want to be polite, use could instead of can. Moving along, we have do or would you mind if. After this, we add a subject, whether it's you, I, and so on, followed by a simple present verb. This is very important. We have to keep in mind that the tense we use when making requests or suggestions is the simple present. And the example we have here is, do you mind if I use your pencil for a little? As you can tell, use is the simple present form. Following up, we have do or would you mind so and so please. Before I explain this example, I want to give another tip to sounding native in English, which is adding a j sound when a word or two words followed by each other have d followed by u, as in would you. We add a j sound between the d and the y, making it sound like would you, would you. So the example we have here is, would you mind buying these items from the market? Again, would you mind buying these items from the market? We said that we use the present tense in requests, but we can see here a continuous present verb, which is actually not a verb, it's a gerund. So هاي الكلمة مش فعل، هي مصدر buying بمعنى شراء مش بمعنى يشتري. Finally, we have two ways of requesting, but in these two cases we are asking if we ourselves could do or have something, not asking other people to do something for us. So could I please so and so? This is again the more polite way than saying can. An example of this could be, could I please borrow the car for the evening? And the other one is, can I please? And the example is, can I go with my friends to the cinema, please? And these are some of the ways that you can make requests to ask someone or to ask if you can do something or have something. So what do we say when we want to accept a request, and what do we say when we want to refuse it? Going back to the video we watched, you can accept a request by saying one of the following. Sure, with a great pleasure, just like the dad told his son. Or, of course no. This is an answer when asked with, do you mind if? Of course no, as in of course no, I don't mind. We can also answer by saying, or accept by saying, certainly yes, or sure, no problem. And for refusing a request, we can say, no way, sorry. Or we can say, I'm afraid I can't. Or you can say, sorry, you can't. This is when requesting to do something yourself. I'm sure we can find many more other ways to accept or to refuse requests, but these are the ones that I have picked for today, and these are the ones that are most commonly used. Now, I have another short sketch to watch with you about making suggestions this time, so let's watch it and continue with our presentation afterwards.
Organised office. Go on, you'd better help them, Anna. Can I make a suggestion?
Yes, please do.
Why don't you try looking in your recycle bin? It might still be there.
I did. It isn't.
Have you tried asking your colleagues if they've seen the memory stick?
I did. They haven't.
How about looking through your rubbish bin to see if you threw it away by mistake?
I don't do silly things like that.
All very sensible suggestions, Anna. Thank you.
Maybe I could do a big office search for you. I'm good at finding things.
There are confidential documents in this office. Non-staff are not allowed to see them.
Now, Denise. Why don't you drink up that nice tea?
I have an idea. Did you ever email the presentation to anyone?
Golly gosh, you did, Denise. You emailed it to me to proofread. It'll be in my inbox somewhere. Good thinking, Anna.
I was just about to make that suggestion myself.
Problem solved. Thank you, Anna.
I believe we can all agree that Anna did an amazing job, don't you think? She used many ways to suggest solutions, so let's go over them together. And now the first suggestion she made is, why don't you try looking in your recycle bin? But did you catch how I said, don't you? This is another occurrence where you can make a ch sound, meaning when a T comes before a Y, it should sound something like, don't you? There's a ch sound, don't you? Now, another suggestion she made was, how about looking in your rubbish bin? This is also an example for using a gerund, not a verb. On a side note, rubbish bin is what people say in Britain. They say rubbish bin for سلة المهملات, but Americans use trash can, or just simply they say trash. Something very important they included in this clip is responding to the suggestions Anna has made. Did you notice how the manager was replying in a kind way and he thanked Anna, whereas the assistant was being rude to her and didn't want to listen to her? Before we talk about the ways we can use to respond to suggestions, these are ways to make them. First, we have why don't you or why don't we? After this, we use an infinitive verb, and an example on this is, why don't we go hiking this weekend? So go here is infinitive. We can also make a suggestion by saying you could or we could, as in, you could see a plumber for that leak. The be in plumber is silent, and leak means tasrib. So the person we should see when we have a leak is a plumber. Next up, we have what about or how about, as in, how about making pizza for lunch now? Can you tell I'm hungry? I already mentioned that this form of making a suggestion comes with a gerund and not a verb. So, how about making pizza? A gerund. This one is very straightforward. I suggest or I think. We can say it's crowded here. I suggest we find somewhere else to sit. However, if you're using think, it would be something like, I think we should find somewhere else to sit. So we added the modal should here. And after that, the verb is infinitive. Finally, we have let's. Let's invite our friends over. This is a rather enthusiastic way to make a suggestion. We can use it with friends and people we're close with, but we should try using more formal ways to suggest things, like the other ones we just talked about, when we're dealing with the people who are maybe older than us or higher in position. And this is out of respect and courtesy. من باب الاحترام واللباقة is to use more formal ways to when we're talking about people who are older or higher in position. We come to talk about the ways which we can use to accept or turn down suggestions. turn down means refuse or decline. So to accept a suggestion, we can say, sure, let's do it. This is how we would accept a suggestion using let's. And we can use it when we're talking to our friend or a family member, as it is an informal way to respond. We can also say, sounds good, thank you. Don't forget the thank you. And we can also say, what a great idea. Similarly, to refuse a suggestion or turn it down, we can say, I don't think this is a great idea, but thank you anyway. Or we can say, I'm sorry, I have other plans. This is how we can respond to a suggestion about possibly going out or meeting with someone when we have another things planned ahead of us. And finally, we can simply just say no because we don't like the suggestion, and that's absolutely okay. But we just have to make sure to say sorry so it won't come across as impolite. So, no, I don't want to. Sorry.